Hey, folks, welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast, coming to you live from the America First Warehouse here in Long Island, New York, every Wednesdays, 4 p.m. I'm Steve Levy, your co-host, former Suffolk County executive, former New York State Assemblyman, the executive director of the fiscally conservative think tank, Center for Cost-Effective Government, Newsmax contributor, blah, 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 blah. Normally, I'm here with David Zaire from Real America's Voice as my co-host. He's on assignment again. And David, you're in trouble because the last two sessions we have subbing in the one, the only, the stand-up comic from the New York metropolitan area, Gino Piscanti, who's kicking butt to such an extent the ratings went through the roof. And I think David might be a goner, Gino.
I thought you said this is the third time I've tripped over you walking in here today. You might as well do the show again.
He's one of the homeless guys.
That's what I remember happening.
Bass and Gavin Newsom import.
I'm getting new teeth from Karen Bass.
Isn't that a wonderful thing? You better vote against Spencer because he's going to make you get a job.
Oh, God.
And,
don't curse on the air. I thought I was the one that cursed on the air. Get a job? That's vulgar. That's vulgar.
It is. So listen, we got so many things to talk about. When I was sending Gino lists of different things, we want to talk about Iran. We want to talk about illegal immigration, right? Then what happens? This morning, they do a hearing in the Senate against our boy Fauci on the COVID, and they have some guy who comes in from the CIA who's a whistleblower, blah, blah, blah.
Erdman.
Yeah, long story short, Gino Piscanti, I mean, it's not a revelation, but Rand Paul did an amazing job putting it out to the public, which, by the way, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times will never cover anyway.
No.
But they were showing how Fauci et al. Within that bureaucracy were basically lying to the American public.
We're doing what we knew.
Right.
We're doing what it obviously looked like they were doing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, this is something, you're a biggie on this, and we're a little different in that I was a pro-vaccine guy, not mandate, but I was the first guy in line to get the vaccine. You never did. You were leery about it. And, you got your slings and arrows because of that. But one thing we can both agree on is that those SOBs were lying.
Oh, without a doubt.
Lying.
It wasn't just that they were lying to make people sick. Like, they wanted people to get the vaccine. And even though you wanted the vaccine, you weren't running around saying, you get the vaccine, you get the vaccine. And the biggest two scams in the world were, one, the word anti-vax, because no one was anti-vax. No one cared who was vaccinated and who wasn't. Okay. And the other big scam was, Trump mandated it. No, he rushed it to the market. He said it's out there. Use it if you want. But what they wanted us to do was be shamed if you got COVID, because obviously, I didn't stay 6 feet away, or I didn't wear a mask, when the bottom line was they just wanted to get it into your arm any way possible to try out the mRNA vaccine. And now you're seeing what Fauci did. Like the CIA guy said, the whistleblower literally said, it's like, you changed the narrative. You had a midnight meeting to do all this.
Well, they were changing the narrative, Gino, on where the COVID emanated from.
Of course.
Because it was pretty damn obvious that it came from the lab.
Yeah.
I mean, people were debating, was it a lab? Was it bats in a wet market? Until Jon Stewart, their favorite lib, comes along, and he was magnificent. I don't know if you remember.
On Colbert, of course. And Colbert didn't know how to react. He was getting nervous.
He didn't expect it. So Jon Stewart says, let's see, if you had an explosion of chocolate goodiness in Hershey, Pennsylvania, would it have come from two bats that were mating in a wet market? Or maybe the Hershey factory, maybe, that makes chocolate?
Yeah.
Maybe the Wuhan virus came from the Wuhan lab? Maybe?
Yeah.
Duh, we all knew it. But why did Fauci lie? Fauci lied because he was the guy who gave the money to the Wuhan lab to play with the gain of function experimentation, which caused COVID to leak.
Yeah. And now the whistleblower is saying not only did he call him out, it's like this was a ridiculous, statement that you made in a midnight meeting to get rid of the lab leak theory. And he went on to say that everyone in the CIA that pushed back on the lab leak, that pushed back on Fauci's lie about the lab leak theory, they singled them out. They went after them. So the CIA is covering their ass as well. And the reason I'm saying that is it gives me hope, because we sat here 2 weeks ago saying, do you think this guy Morens will flip on him, or do you think he'll get a lot of money to fall on the sword? And now it might not even be his call, because the CIA needs to protect themselves. And now I feel like Fauci,
covering their asses,
right?
Peter Daszak is the one guy they say that guy was evil, because this was one of the mucky mucks from America who was this international guru who was helping to fund the gain of function of dangerous research in Wuhan, which, by the way, the Obama administration said you can't do that. But Fauci and Daszak did it back end by funding one organization to then give it to them. And then Daszak was appointed by the WHO and all these different alphabet soup company groups out there to say, oh, it was from the wet market, to cover themselves, because they knew if the truth got out, they'd be vilified for having spurred on this horrible COVID epidemic.
Of course. And
they lied.
And because there's an epidemic, because they shut down ivermectin, they shut down hydroxychloroquine, they got the emergency mandate, I always forget what the word is, God forgive me, to put the mRNA vaccines to make them, to mandate them once Biden got in. And that is a crime. And the only justice, I believe, as I sit here in this most patriotic venue, is I want to believe, I said this earlier on the show we do with Kev, I said, I want to believe that Fauci believes in God, so he wakes up every day knowing he's going to hell. And I'm sorry that sounds so terrible for religious people, but you have to realize you're going to hell when you knowingly kill all these people for money.
Listen, I don't think there was an intent to do that.
You were the one saying all the terrible things about his wife off the air.
Now, wait a minute.
Terrible.
Now, wait a minute. But the thing about Fauci, you know who he reminds me of? I was going to say so many things about Judge Ito. Remember in
OJ?
In the OJ trial? I think they were well-intentioned. I don't think he was a crook, a bad guy necessarily. But they had these tremendous egos, and they got swallowed up by the limelight and being on the cover of Vogue and being on Entertainment Tonight and everywhere. And they became these glamorous people who then lost their objectivity and just started, feeding more and more of their ego. And with him, I don't think it was an ill intent, but then when he got caught, where it was clear that this virus got out and he was the cause of allowing it to be experimented with, he knew if the truth came out, he was in big trouble. So they lied. But not only did the health officials lie, which is bad enough and destroyed the credibility of the health industry.
Thank God.
Right. But they quashed social media, and the fascists in the Biden administration held back people like you from being able to post something saying they're full of crap.
Yeah.
Or Senator Cotton, who said early on this came from a lab. They prevented him from even saying this on Twitter.
But it's even more devious, because I was saying this earlier. This is also when we were waking up saying the mainstream media isn't our friend. The medical industry may not be our friend. So everyone went to YouTube because we weren't watching mainstream media. And that's when YouTube took over and said, we will silence these people. And a lot of the reasons they did this is because we would have gone down the rabbit hole we did anyway and find out. And this is where I decry or denounce what you're saying about Fauci, because I could see Ito being taken in. But Fauci killed millions of gay people with AIDS, okay? And I don't mean the gay people with AIDS. He killed them with AIDS being in his back pocket and giving it to them to try out AZT. He killed people.
Wait a minute.
You could pretend that. Then just read the book. Read the book by RFK Jr., What Fauci Did, and how Fauci has always had his hand in these medical things because he loves playing God and he loves making
he is
people.
The science, didn't he say that?
That's right.
If you disagree with me, you are disagreeing with science. And that's the mentality. That's
a God complex.
He's got a God complex. And he just thought if he lied, The media would buy it hook, line, and sinker, which they did, okay? And the interesting thing is, why did social media lie? Partially because they're liberal to begin with, and they have a proclivity to join on to that group. But the Biden administration threatened these companies that if you allow that to go up, we're going to bomb.
Yeah.
It's a nice license you get there. It'd be a shame if you lost it,
I like when you mob things up, Steve. Yeah. That's a nice Facebook platform you got here, Mr. Zuckerberg. Be ashamed if we shut it down. And then he was one of the first of the rats to leave the ship when he knew Trump was going to win. He's like, well, they made us.
You got that
all
right.
Cowards. All cowards.
Right. And we saw what they did with the Hunter Biden laptop, right?
Yeah.
In comes the FBI, a few months before the election. You're going to see this. I think you should suppress it. If you don't, who knows what may happen? And they did. Okay.
So when all is said and done, the question is, do you think, unlike 2 weeks ago, that they'll have a guy following the sword for Fauci, or is Fauci getting thrown under the bus for the CIA, which is a bigger entity than him? I hope it's that.
There's a lot of statute of limitations issues at play here. He's got the pardon. They get around the pardon in certain ways, in certain areas. But I don't think anything's going to happen with jail time or anything like that. But the shame factor is important.
He'll get over the shame factor. He needs to go to jail.
To make the record clear what they did, Gino Pisconti, so it can never happen again. And this was, I expected to talk about 3 other things this segment, but we got caught up in this, which was fine. But come back, we're talking about illegal immigration, treason, and a whole lot of other things on the Right Side Podcast.
Yeah.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring, the anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Levy, former county executive and New York State Assemblyman. With me today, my guest co-host for the 3rd week in a row is local comedian, I said national comedian.
Oh, national, local,
international, stellar, universal, and beyond. Gino Piscanti, and we were talking about Fauci in the last edition. We're going to get into some juicy stuff in this edition, but first, I want to thank Joe the Box, who's the proprietor of this amazing Museum for Patriots here on Long Island. If you are on Long Island, you got to come here and visit. We have amazing shows, amazing guests, and check out some of the commercials in between. You want to check out soundmoney.com if you want to invest in sound money like gold and silver. And also, if you want to check out all the events coming up here at the warehouse, go to theamericafirstwarehouse.com and you'll see everything that they have here. It'll blow your mind. Okay, let's talk about a subject that just burns me up to no end here, Gino.
Women voting. You've said this. No.
First they were allowed to smoke, then they were allowed to vote.
Then they had opinions.
This is sounding like the Gutfeld show. You got to have something in the back. A misogynist would say.
There you go. There you go.
So listen, I want to talk about illegal immigration, which blows my mind how this issue has morphed so much by the libs because, let's face it, we're now on to them. We know why they're pushing illegal immigration. They're doing it on purpose because Democrats hail from blue states. They're losing their people to the red states where it's more affordability, right?
Oh,
so they have to make up the difference, or they're going to be carved out in the electoral college and representation in Congress. This is what we'll do: we'll import new people from overseas. Whether they're here
replacement theory, it's called, correct?
It is. And we count them in the census, so I can get to keep my seat. Then we'll get power. We'll legalize them and have them vote for us, of course. So we know that's the game. But illegal immigration went to undocumented individual, to migrant, to asylum seeker, where now, Gino, there's no distinction in the media between an illegal and a legal immigrant. And you've got, like our local paper here, Newsday, every day there is another article framing ICE officials and anyone seeking to enforce immigration law as the evil, unconstitutional, exploiters, fascist,
sure,
and the illegal immigrant as the victim, the poor underdog who's just trying to get along without having their constitutional rights violated. So they had a big article the other day about what percentage...
Which they don't have any because they're not legal citizens, and the Constitution only applies to citizens of the United States, per se. I mean, I remember third grade civics. But I'm sorry. Go on, Steve. I'm sorry.
Just for the record, though, there are some constitutional provisions that do apply to an individual, whether they're here illegally or not. For instance, if an illegal alien is charged with a crime where they can be incarcerated, they do get rights of due process and all of that stuff constitutionally. But what they don't get, Gino, which you're absolutely right about, is the same constitutional protections when it comes to an administrative court determining if you're here legally or not. You're not entitled to legal counsel for a civil matter like that. They should just be able to boot you. But the liberals in Congress and in the media try to cloud it. And what they're doing now is saying, oh, well, these people they never raped or murdered anyone, so why is ICE apprehending them and deporting them? Because that's the law. When did the law ever change to say that the only way you can be deported as an illegal alien is if you rape or murder someone?
And sometimes not even then, apparently.
Absolutely. Exactly. Because then even if you are a rapist or a murderer, the Democrats like Van Hollen over in Maryland or Maryland will do everything they can to keep you here. Right?
Buy you margaritas and stuff.
Exactly. So the biggest one put up the headline, guys. Put up the headline.
And by the way, to answer your question, that became a law when the Democrats said so. When they say it, people believe them.
That's right.
Even when it's not, that's what they said.
Biden comes along and says, "Oh well, you could just claim asylum at the border, 10 million of them, and we'll keep you here as long as you want while your asylum claim is pending 10 years later.
Yeah, if you don't get how lost they are. Look at Karen Bass spent $500,000 on signs that said ICE isn't allowed to be on this property, and they are. But I made a sign.
Yeah, and the locals have no authority to supersede federal law. Something
They don't know that. But again, but the Democrats said so. Anyway, back to
go
this.
back to that headline, guys, up in the upper room there. So you'll see this headline in Newsday that now is a big article about, here it is, mental health toll on family after ICE arrest. And they're implying within this article that the poor illegal alien who was detained by ICE is going through all of this mental anguish. And what are we going to do? And should we get psychiatrists on board, taxpayer-financed psychiatrists, to help him and his family as he's detained and is going through the process of being deported? Have we lost our freaking minds, Gino?
Watch this. Yeah, that was easy. I mean, there's obviously if anyone listens to this and says without the response, "Are you serious?" They've lost their mind, because I say this all the time. Yes, gas prices are higher than they have been since 2023, and when I pay that extra dollar, I know where it's going. Okay, I know it's going to liberate the people of Iran, to let Iranian women keep their clitoris, to help bring down Cuba. So, like you said, we can send all those Miami Cubans back to hell home. You said it off air, but that's where that dollar is going. I don't know where my tax dollars are going. I don't. I don't. We have a city of New York that's 3 times the size of the state of Florida, and yet rather than fire people that aren't doing their job, let's give them more money to do it terribly. And now we need to give money to people to ICE people who we hurt their feelings.
Yes, we hurt their feelings.
It's even funny when you say you hurt their feelings, Steve.
Hey, there's actually a lawsuit that Suffolk County lost because the county was holding the criminals who their term expired, and they were holding them for 48 hours so that ICE can come and get them the hell out of the country rather than putting them back on the street. The goo-goo groups out there came along, sued the county, and a judge awarded them like $60,000 each. I said, where do we sign up for that?
Yeah,
you know, unbelievable.
And it's like it's catch and release is the only word I can use, because they let them out. All they have to do is hold them there. This is what went on in Minnesota when everyone's like, "Oh, we win because they got rid of Kristi Noem." No, they just said, "Okay, it looks bad killing all these people, so we'll hold them in jail long enough for you to walk in and grab them rather than hunt them down." And that's what's going on in New York, right? They're not leaving them long enough. They're like, let's not hold them too long, so ICE can come get them.
There's no enforcement. And we see that as well in New York City. Nice segue coming up here, where you know, with these anti-Semitic protests going on in the streets. Okay, the hooligans who we've imported from the third world are now making it their daily ambition to go harass Jewish people who just want to go to a synagogue and pray. So now they're rallying around to harass them and actually becoming quite violent. I mean, you know what happens when you're a right-to-lifer who goes before an abortion clinic?
You'll go to jail. They go after Christians. Yeah.
They'll raid your house. They'll take you out of your house while your kids are there. But somehow, if you are, from some of these third world countries who hate Jewish people, you can go down there and you can harass the hell out of them. Nothing happens. How about this one, Gino? The Muslim guy who killed the Jewish fellow who was attending a rally. Guy's just minding his own business, holding a banner, marching around. Muslim guy crosses the street, takes a bullhorn or something, hits the guy over the head, kills him.
When was that?
This was about a year or two ago.
Okay.
You know what his sentence was by the judge? 1 year. 1 year in prison for killing a man in cold blood.
Yeah.
And
by the way,
unbelievable.
Isn't it technically, isn't that the definition of a hate crime?
Yeah.
That's a hate crime.
Right. You get more than that for drawing a swastika on a stop sign in some place.
You don't got to tell me. I heard.
Oh my God!
I mean, I hate crime. That's what I hate. Crime.
So,
and it was a yield sign. Okay.
So listen, how about Columbia University? Okay, you had this one young lady there, a student, who was participating in the rallies that were blocking Jewish students from getting into their class. She not only wasn't prosecuted, they offered her a job in the graduate school. Unfreaking believable. But this is what's going on in our society today. Because crazies control academia, entertainment, the media.
I've said this in comedy, and like I used to, like, I say this all the time, and you'll get this. Thank God I'm a straight white male, and I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're a different color.
That's not what your college roommate told me. But anyway.
He's doing it now. But you know what I mean? Like, and I'll tell you why. Because we don't get any breaks. No one's like, well, the guy's black, and this gets what I'm saying, so it doesn't sound racist. I tell black comics all the time now, you're a black straight dude in comedy, that ain't gonna cut it anymore. And this is what,
you better be handicapped and gay to boot.
Yeah, which I'm not. Wink, wink. But what I'm saying is, I'm sorry to our Jewish New Yorkers, because you're not that special anymore. Now we got to worry about the Muslims. And I hope that came out right.
The 1/3 of you Jewish New Yorkers who voted for that communist, anti-Semite in New York, it's kind of hard for me to feel bad for you right now, because you talk about suicidal empathy.
Yeah.
You're committing suicide by electing this jackass. And what's he doing? He's looking the other way. Well, you're getting slaughtered out on the street.
Defending, he was at some meeting, or he was giving some speech the other day where he's like, and they classify this as violent crime. It's not violent. It's crime. Stop, trying to go through the layers of defending certain criminals.
Depends who the victim is, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, hold that thought. Come back on the right side. 3 minutes. We're going to ask,
was a yield
is Senator
sign.
Mark Kelly a treasonist? A seditionist? We'll find out.
250 years ago, a nation was born. Built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from Go USA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won, it's not about what party, it's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Hey, welcome back on the Right Side Podcast. Steve Levy, your co-host, former county executive and New York State Assembly member, with the one, the only, Mr. Comedian himself, Gino Piscani.
Me.
From the New York metropolitan area. We talk about a lot of stuff. But thanks for the guys upstairs to tell me that my mic was off. See, I have to shut the mic off in between the segments.
To yell all that homophobic hate speech.
See, because this guy, you hear what he just said? I never know the crap that's going to come out of his mouth that might get us banned.
Every time you text me to come back, I'm amazed.
So then we come back to the next session. I forget to put it on. And Bill upstairs, I say, yell at me that they put it on. But that's why, Bill, because I don't know what this guy's going to say at
He
any
says terrible
particular
things
moment.
when he puts the mic off.
Oh,
He's,
my God.
This guy, Hitler, nothing on this guy.
It is dangerous when you got a microphone on next to Gino. All right. So listen. Let's talk treason, okay? This guy who I thought, Senator Mark Kelly, Arizona. I'm so sad I have to hate this guy because
Why?
I wanted his brother. I think it was his twin brother. I think he was from New York, Long Island. He was an astronaut, right?
Oh.
I said, I kind of like that. But the astronaut's brothers in Congress. Gabby Giffords' husband, he got in after she got shot, blah, 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 became a senator. What a freaking moron, this guy. He drives me crazy.
I feel like you loosen up when we're hanging out. I like the way you talk.
Got me. Strike, I'm from Brooklyn. Nah,
Yeah.
you're from
Oh, yeah.
Harlem. I'm from
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
I just helped you release
Strike one
it.
on this guy, okay? Few months ago, he does a video with Slotnick and a couple of others saying, hey, if you're in the military, if you decide that the orders coming from above you aren't to your liking, you think they're illegal orders, just ignore them. Just ignore them. We'll back you up. A lot of people thought that was pretty damn close to treason, okay?
He was certainly arrogant.
He certainly was. Now, fast forward, the other day, it was reported that he went out to an interview at ABC, NBC, one of those Sunday morning shows, and
Meet the Press, I think it was.
divulges information that he claims came from, I don't know if he claimed it, but it was alleged that it came from a top secret briefing from our intelligence officers, and he goes out and says publicly, we're out of ammunition. We're running low on ammo. Now, even if this is true, which Pete Hegseth says is not true, and I understand why he's got to say that, who the hell says that? As a United States Senator telling Iran, hey, we don't have any more bombs. You're all right. We don't have any more bombs. Pretty damn close to treasonous. Not for us, because we weren't briefed by these guys in this top secret meeting.
He is like, simply put, 2 words, sore loser. He is like everyone else on the left. He is a sore loser. When we lost, air quotes, the 2020 election, okay? The Republicans weren't sore losers. We were sore. We didn't think we lost, but we said, this is our president. We went along with it.
There were some guys who attacked the Capitol. But
they didn't attack the Capitol, okay?
Some of them did. Not all.
Please.
Some of them were just little old ladies wandering around.
And those are the ones they went
going
after.
into solitary confinement, which was crazy. But some of them did attack cops, which went way overboard. But
that's a whole nother
let's
show
make
for
that a
another
different
time.
show.
And we can dispute that, but there's no disputing that Mark Kelly is a sore loser. And not first he says that. First he's like, you don't have to listen to him. And they're like, what commands? Well, none yet, because they couldn't think of any. And one of them actually used the example of Colonel Jessup in A Few Good Men, because they have a few good brain cells left. But now, when use your common sense. When a guy says, this isn't 1942 Germany, when in the parades they just keep using the same tanks back and forth. This is America. People complain about the military-industrial complex, which is why the war machine always grinds out money to make more weapons. But you can believe a guy who said, well, it's the lowest since before the war. Of course, because we're turning that place into a parking lot. But he will make it sound like, oh my God, we're desperately low. And the only thing that might do is inspire Iran to have some more attacks and maybe kill, God forbid, a 14th member, because they haven't killed anyone, or hold out and cost us more taxpayer dollars while this war that's whatever you want. Like I've said this, if you jump on me and start beating the crap out of me, right? And you're beating me up, and then Mark goes, stop fighting. We're not fighting. You're beating the piss out of me. And that's what's going on in Iran. And sore losers like Kelly are like, yeah, we're bombing them so much we're low on ammo. We're not. You're low on intelligent conversation.
But here's the next question, and why aren't we bombing the hell out of them? And I got to tell you, I got it early on that the president wants to squeeze them like an anaconda, okay? We've got the blockade in, great. They're getting to the point now where they're going to start losing their oil. They're at their capacity.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to pay their people, okay? But I'm afraid if this goes on too much longer in this stalemate, there is going to be a perception out there that we're looking weak, that we're letting them, the losers, dictate what's going on in that Strait of Hormuz. We've got the firepower. Their defenses are decimated. We should just unleash Israel to do what you got to do. And we should say, look, we're always open to talk. Here's our phone number. But we're going to start bombing tomorrow. Anytime you want to call, we'll sit down. But this delay. Is it that he wanted to wait to have his meeting with Xi first over at China? Maybe that's one of the reasons.
I definitely
hope
think
to
that.
God it's not that we are low on ammo.
It's not. I would argue this is what it is. Like, remember how you said, hey, call our phone?
Yep.
Do you know why they let me work here so much? It's a lot like Iran.
The money you pay us every week?
And much like Iran, no one knows who the hell is running this place. It's actually Teresa. Don't tell Joe I said that. But again, like, here, call us. Who? No one knows who's in charge. And every day, like, if the phone rings, didn't you say if the phone rings in Iran, it's like, don't answer that. They might want me to be the next leader,
that's the game.
And I'll die.
That's the game they play.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, I had an agreement with you, but then I went back to the other guys and they vetoed.
Yes.
We got to stop playing that. We just got to say, the bombing starts tomorrow. And these 3 bridges are going out on Tuesday. And these 4 bridges are going out on Wednesday. And these 2 power plants are going out on Thursday. But if you call us with the people in power at the appropriate time, maybe we'll stop. But I don't understand why we're not going there. It probably will happen, but the longer this goes on, we're feeding the fuel that
I would
we're looking
argue.
weak.
I would argue. I don't care about looking weak because I don't think we do, but that's my opinion. But you made a great point. I think Trump is a brilliant strategist. I do. And I'm not acting like I'm some genius at stratego or risk, but I think he's a brilliant strategist. And I didn't think of it until you just said it out loud. He's gone to China. He's sending some messages, okay? But what you need to understand, you listening, because this guy's a genius, but an idiot that keeps bringing me back.
Legend in my own mind.
Yes, if you're worried about gas prices and that's the only thing that matters to you, well, then you are what the Democrats love. But when you know why I'll say it again, gas prices are as high as they were since 2023. 2023, when Biden invaded Iran. Oh, no. 2023, when Biden was drill, bang. Oh, no. 2023, when they wanted you to, when they were vilifying the natural gas industry, when they were trying to get you to buy electric cars, anyone that's worried about gas prices should be allowed to say, F you, I bought an electric car. Shut the hell up, pay for the extra gas, and it's going to be worth it down the line. When you said it again, they free up Cuba and all those Mexicans go home. Didn't you say that? Stop thinking you're smarter than Trump and the men that surround him. That's all I'm saying. I like the Mexicans in Florida. What's wrong with you? He's like,
oh, my God.
He didn't say that.
Gets me in trouble.
He may have implied it. He didn't say it out loud. He's not stupid.
Where was I? I had a train of thought until you brought up the Mexicans in Florida. Now I got to regroup here.
Well, you were saying the China thing might have been strategy. Sorry.
No. With the Iran I totally lost my train of thought here. But anyway, you get a little bit of rope, but at some point, you got to bring in the ships and start escorting these tankers out to show that we're in control, not a bunch of guys with a few drones, okay? The asymmetrical warfare is working to the advantage of the Iranians if we let them, and we're kind of letting them. I give a little rope because, let's face it, 3 months in the course of human history is not that big a deal.
No.
This resolves itself okay. We'll say, who cared about the 3 months? Even with the higher gas prices, this is what I was going to say. For all you New Yorkers who are target number one for an Iranian bomb that will not come with a ballistic missile but via a barge, okay? Stop complaining about your $4.50 gas because it ain't going to mean squat if they put that nuke on the barge and it comes to a neighborhood near you. It's a small price to pay to get safety for you and your children. And it blows my mind that all of a sudden they're so worried about the gas prices when they weren't worried about it when they deliberately raised the gas prices for climate change a few years ago.
That's the smart way to say it. I just like to yell. But you're right. Like, they act like when they say these are the highest gas prices have been since between 2016 and 2020, then maybe the Dems would have a point.
And as Marco Rubio said, you think gas prices are high now?
Yep.
Wait till they get the nukes and they can totally control that strait, because now what are you going to do with our conventional forces for which we have an advantage when they have a nuke? All those conventional advantages mean nothing because they have a nuke. You better win this because it's the most important issue of your lifetime. All the other stuff is irrelevant and small fry stuff compared to this. Be willing to sacrifice. World War II, we were willing to sacrifice. World War I, we sacrificed. We have to sacrifice as a nation, go through maybe a little short-term pain for the long-term gain, but we're also damn spoiled and so partisan today. So many people would rather us be in danger rather than give Trump a win.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
You ever go
30 seconds?
You ever, watch this. You ever go to the World War? It's called the D-Day Museum in New Orleans. You ever been to it? I have not been to. It is one of the most amazing museums ever, and I thought of it because it shows how, and we're so divided with social media and everything. But in World War II, it's a whole museum dedicated to the D-Day attack. One day in World War II, everything leading up to it, everything after it, and how we came together as a country.
And we were willing to sacrifice. Come back 2 minutes on the right side.
It was good, right? It was good.
Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast, coming to you live from the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York. Now, normally I would keep this information to the end of the segment. It's our last segment, but I'm with Gino Pisconti today.
Hi, how are you?
And he can go on a rant for like 4 straight minutes. And
without breathing.
Without breathing. So I'm getting it in now. If you want to follow me and my writings on Newsmax, Washington Examiner, Washington Times, wherever they may appear, my Center for Cost-Effective Government, go to stevelevy.info or the Center for Cost-Effective Government.org. I serve as the executive director of that fiscally conservative think tank after I was an assemblyman in New York and a county executive. David Zare, my good friend, I don't know what he looks like anymore because he hasn't been here for the last 3 weeks, but comedian.
He's not this handsome. He's actually a good-looking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But the floor is low.
Yeah, the bar is low.
The bar is low.
The bar is low.
The bar is low. But Gino Bisconti, welcome back. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, man. I love hanging out with you. I do.
You're a city guy.
Yeah.
I think you use mass transit quite a bit, but not the Long Island Railroad. But anyway, this Long Island Railroad, for those of you around the nation who don't know about it, oh my God, you talk about inefficiency. These guys make so much money in overtime and sick days and all of the rules and then pensions and this and that. And there's so much fraud inherent within this entity. But now they're ready to go on strike. They want more money. And it always seems to be in the year the governor's running for re-election that they seem to go on strike because the governors are panicking and they don't want people getting pissed off because they can't get the train and blah, blah, blah. So they're holding out again. Put up that article that we see from Newsday on these guys from the Long Island Railroad wanting to strike. I see my beautiful face on the thing here. I do see there we go. Long Island strike could turn Long Island into a parking lot, something like that, okay? So there we go. Oh, it does say to a parking lot.
I love those guys.
So my question, Gino, is why do we allow transportation workers, public transportation workers, to strike? We do not allow police officers to strike, firefighters to strike, correction officers to strike. Why? Because people would die if we did that, okay? Now, I don't know if they're going to die if a Long Island Railroad workers on strike, but they conceivably can, because when you can't get to here to there on time, when doctors are delayed, when other emergency services people are delayed getting to where they have to go, people can die. And that's why traditionally we don't allow those public sector folks to strike. Now, we allow private sector to strike because if the company stops producing things, the company loses profits. That's a private matter.
Sure.
But in the public sector, it affects all of us at large. Why do we allow it? I don't get it.
Well, I can't answer as to why we allow it other than
Should we allow it?
Well, yeah, you know why we should allow it? We can get away with this. They can get away with this, and you said it perfectly. Why do they always do in the year that the mayor needs to, the mayor's running? Because this city is run like garbage. And what do you do when you have a problem with it? Well, if you're here in Albany, you throw money at it.
By the way, the garbage guys shouldn't be able to strike either, because it's public health and safety, right?
They're always waking me up first thing in the morning anyway, kicking on my dumpster. But do you understand? It's like when I said it earlier, like, not like I'm breaking the news, but this city is run terribly. And Mom Donnie's scaring away the rich people because they're tired of paying the money anyway. But if you know that the way this city fixed things is by just taking more tax dollars, then sure, this is a good year to ask for more money. Why? Because they'll give it to us rather than fire us. They don't know how to fix things other than giving us more money. So that's why I think they're doing it. I don't know.
Here's what has to happen with the MTA and the Long Island Railroad. they need a financial control board because they're so out of control. You need a separate entity to come in, tear up those contracts that are out of control, start from scratch, and give ratepayers a break. I got to get another one in. Did you hear this one? There's a school on Long Island. Put this thing up, guys. They had not one valedictorian.
Two?
Not two valedictorians.
Okay, like three.
Not three valedictorians.
My next guess is 21.
21 freaking valedictorians. Make that bigger. 20, I think it's Jericho Schools. 21 valedictorians. Now, these kids, God bless them, they're all so smart.
They're Asian. They're all Asian. Say it. It's not racist to say there's 21. It's not racist to say I love that there are 21 Asian valedictorians. It is racist to say I hate playing blackjack, a.k.a. 21, and getting an Asian dealer. It's racist to say that, maybe.
Or just Greg Gutfeld and all his Asian driving jokes, but it's all in fun.
But you cannot have there needs to be tiebreakers.
But let me tell you,
tie spelled T-I-E, not T-H-A-I. Go on.
I do mention, good one.
Not bad spelling.
I do mention in my book, Solutions to America's Problems, that God bless the Asian culture, because
of course
it is their culture that is willing to sacrifice and to work hard for sacrifice for today, for future benefits, and really put your heart and soul into academics that results in all this high performance. God bless them.
Agreed.
We need to mirror that more. But come on, you're telling me that someone didn't have a 99.7 as opposed to a 98.6? Are we now in the everyone gets a trophy mode here, Gino? You can't have a distinction between number 1 and 21.
I have two words for the tiebreaker: Squid Game. You ever see it?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Squid Game. These people are naturals at it. But I agree with you. Like, don't get me wrong. First of all, that I joke around a lot, but well said. Like, I'm very big on, like, I was raised right. I was taught an education was important. I learned stuff, believe it or not, as much as I joke around. And God bless those kids. But you have to have some sort of tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, like, have them wrestle in mud, although there were some cuties, and I go to a spa for that. But what I'm saying is, like, there must be some academic tiebreaker or something, or maybe you have a spelling bee. I don't know.
Stop giving A's to everybody. Like in
this
Harvard
is my
now,
favorite topic we've covered.
In
it really
Harvard,
is.
They actually have remedial reading for people coming into Harvard because the high schools suck so bad,
Sure.
and DEI is so prevalent, okay, that they're bringing in kids who have, no business being there with their SAT scores that they now discount. But then once they get in, everybody gets an A.
Yeah.
Everybody gets an A. So what does it mean anymore to be a valedictorian?
You were not valedictorian of your...
I was pretty up there.
I was salutatorian of mine. There were 50 kids. 50 kids. It was terrible.
Hey, not bad. But everything's a bell curve, right? It's
Right.
all relative. But my goodness, what a joke. All right, we got 5 minutes. 4 minutes. We got to talk about AOC. AOC doesn't like billionaires.
I'll say terrible things.
She doesn't like billionaires unless they're Democratic billionaires like George Soros, who give her a lot of money. Or maybe Jay-Z and Beyonce. Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe Taylor Swift in there too. But if you're Elon Musk, if you're Ken Griffin,
Soros is fine. Soros is fine.
Yeah, exactly. But I love this attitude that they can't earn it. Billionaires don't earn their money. They had to get that money by cheating or exploiting someone or doing something illegal. So I guess Beyonce has to give back all of her money that she made on selling records because she had to exploit someone.
She
to do
made it
something
up.
Illegal.
Yeah. Well, isn't she the one? And she is the one. What was the tour she was going on with Bernie Sanders? Where there
the
were
oligarchy tour.
Yeah, no oligarchy, which is against millionaires or billionaires, whatever. Actually, what was it? Bernie Sanders was against millionaires till he became one. Now he's against billionaires, right? Isn't that it?
This one guy had a great. I think it was the Democrats. Democrats used to be against millionaires until they became millionaires, and they're now millionaires who are against billionaires.
Yeah.
And that was Bernie, who was against millionaires until he had 3 homes and became a millionaire, and now has to go after the billionaires. And who does the Democratic Party support now? It's not the middle class. It's not the working class. It's the dirt poor who they make dependent on the state, and the billionaires, the upper middle class millionaires who went through the university systems, the white liberals. They are your Democrats right now.
Yeah. And the problem is they prop up idiots like AOC and let her talk like this and make an ass of herself. She says one stupid thing. She's the one who, way before Mamdani chased away Crane and all his Miami money back to Miami, she's the one that said, yeah, but Amazon doesn't pay enough shipping taxes, so we don't want them here. Can I explain to you how all the people that live here would work here and you could tax them and take them out? Now I win. You just cost all of your constituents money and jobs.
And when Sebastian Maniscalco sells out Madison Square Garden, he's entitled to every dollar he gets, though I'm not paying $300 for one of his tickets. I actually caught him in the Improv in West Palm Beach Improv 7 years ago when he was a nobody. I said he's going to be something one day. He gets here.
You've never said that about me.
Well, I was just going to say, when Gino Bisconti sells out Madison Square Garden, which is coming soon, where he's selling out PS 152 in Queens.
Thanks for giving me that gig, by the way.
No problem.
Means a lot.
Should they take that money away from you, or did you earn it because you put fannies in the seats? LeBron James getting $40 million a year. People don't like it. Well, the owner's willing to pay him. Why? Because he brings people in who are going to pay concessions and parking and this and that, and the owner gets richer. Isn't that capitalism? Free market?
Chris Rock said it. Every show you do is a bringer show. He's like, if I'm booked at the Apollo, I better bring that crowd. Everything's a bringer show. You make your money based on your talent, unless you're a politician, and then you make your money based on your constituents.
Exactly. I mean, here's LeBron bringing people in. I don't like LeBron. Here's Beyonce bringing people in. I don't like her either. But they're creating something. They have value that they give to people in entertainment. What does AOC do? Is she earning her money? Come on. What a fool. Hey, 30 seconds left, folks. I got 20 seconds left for Gino Bisconti to give the latest plug. It's not PS 152. Where's it going to be?
I'll be at Rodney's the last Sunday of the month. The old Dangerfields the weekend before that, 29th and 30th. I'll be in Berlin, New Jersey. But I'll be here next Tuesday for the America vs. Warehouse show and Wednesday for the Kevin Downey Jr. show. Thanks for having me again, man.
What entertainment. David, you better be back next week, or I think this guy's going to become the regular. See you in a week, ladies and gentlemen, on the Right Side Podcast. Have a great week. Dun, dun.
For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. Make the America first warehouse, where our hearts will always be. America first warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of hope, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free.